Welcome to Aphra's Artifacts, where we do some archaeology of our own and dig into the queer side of Star Wars. I'm your host, Alia Morgaine, and it's so great to have you here. Welcome back to another full episode. Thank you so much for being patient with me. I have just started an internship for school, and I've started a graduate assistantship, and I'm taking 4 classes. So there's a lot going on right now, which leads me to the first point of business. Aphra's Artifacts for this semester at least, so through the first week of December, will release the first and third Thursdays of each month. There's just no way I can do this every single week. I want to put as much wonderful energy, positive effort into this project. And so first and third Thursdays of the month is when I will be releasing Aphra's Artifacts. So thank you for bearing with me, everybody. So today I wanted to continue talking about Kantam Sai. We're going to kind of veer off into the all ages part of their story in the Galactic Bake-Off Spectacular, a special issue of the High Republic Adventures comic series. So this issue is, part of it is real weird and part of it is really great. So, but it's all wonderful anyways. So it's a story within a story, and the framing story is wonderfully ridiculous. So it opens up with Torben Buck, the Chagrin, Buckets of Blood, saying, "All right, Padawans, it's time for the great Jedi baking day of baking baked things." And that kind of sets the tone for the majority of the framing story. And I love it because it's totally weird and just a lot of fun. So, Torben and Kantam Sai plan on baking Yoda's recipe for sweet story custard cakes. And Kantam explains that the reason why they're called story custard cakes is because the baking must be accompanied by some sort of story in which the baker learned something new about what they were capable of, or a story where trust between the baker and another led to a deeper understanding of the Force. So Torben and Kantam sort of co-tell this story that takes place right after the Great Disaster. So remember, the Great Disaster is when Hetzal got, totally beaten up. The planet Hetzal got rained down on by debris from the hyperspace disaster. So that is all found in the first phase of the High Republic series, or publishing campaign. So in this story within a story, there is a ship called the Voyager Dawn. It is a meditation retreat for elder Jedi, and it experienced a lot of damage. Now, we get a little insight into this retreat, and basically think of this as a really cool retirement community for Jedi. It's actually kind of awesome. So Torben is aiding the injured on another ship when he gets a call that Kantam is on the Voyager Dawn trying to rescue the older Jedi. But Kantam's ship is a lot smaller, and so they need help from Torben to rescue these older Jedi. So then we zoom in to Kantam specifically, where they are trying to get Fumbola the Noble, an elderly Jedi, to safety. And Fumbola and Kantam arrive to safety with the others, and then Fumbola is suddenly determined, I don't know why he didn't say anything sooner, but is suddenly determined that another Jedi, Griswold, was still on the ship. So Kantam, being Kantam, runs back onto the damaged ship to find her. Well, Kantam finds Griswold overwhelmed with fear and sadness. She just feels it all around her, and it's really affecting her because I guess she's super in tuned into the Force. And Kantam does a fantastic job of talking her down. They remind her that in all things balance, Master Griswold, there is fear, there is death, but there is also life. There is also hope, even in the midst of terror. You must trust in the Force. And they present all this level-headedness while knowing that they are quickly running out of time as the rescue transport has almost arrived. So they're really running out of time. The ship is about to just completely fall apart. And they need to get Griswold to safety. But even in the midst of all that, Kantam is very level-headed and very calm and very helpful to the older Jedi. So, in the midst of all this, as Griswold and Kantam are running to safety, Griswold apologizes for being the cause of Kantam being back out in the damaged ship. And Kantam assures her there's nothing to be sorry for. Again, super compassionate, very level-headed, just a truly amazing Jedi. And at one point, Kantam gets knocked back in the chaos of the ships falling apart, and Griswold saves their life. So Griswold kind of, although she does say something to the effect of, I'm not as skilled as I used to be, or like my powers aren't what they used to be. So she knows that she's not really able to do too much. But she does save Kantam's life at one point. And then clearly they get to safety, right? Because we know Kantam is still around. So Kantam and Torben wrap up their story. And the Padawans are like, well, we get what Kantam did, but what about Torben Buck? And Kantam and Torben together explain how it took trust between the two of them for them both to make it out of there alive that day. And that their friendship and connection in the Force grew because of the experience. So the story within the story is actually really powerful. It has so many different messages in it. We see Kantam's compassion, Kantam's calmness, and we see Torben's trust and not wanting to leave a friend behind. And their relationship, we see how they build on their relationship and become closer. So there's a lot of great things in the story within a story. And the framing story, the Galactic Bake-Off Spectacular, is just wacky and so good. So it's a one-off issue that's not necessarily related to anything else timeline-wise. So I highly recommend it. It's, like I said, wacky on one side, super powerful and meaningful on the other side. So it's a great story to read if you have not already. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about Kantam Sai and the issue, the Galactic Bake-Off Spectacular from the High Republic Adventures series. So be sure to tune in the first Thursday of September, where I will be doing a video on, it depends on how long it ends up being. I'm about halfway done with my notes for the High Republic Adventures series in general on Kantam, so that may be 1 or 2 episodes, but I'll definitely start on the High Republic Adventures mainline part of the series about Kantam, coming the first Thursday of September. And by then, my nerd room should hopefully be finished. So hopefully I'll have those blueprints up behind me again, and some Lego on the wall and all that good stuff. Still working on it, but it's getting there. So thank you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful couple of weeks. And Ahsoka, right? So good. Check that out. Anyway, remember to like the videos, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter at AliaMorgaine, and peruse my blog at thestarwarsreview.blogspot.com. May the Force be with you.